Hi, and good afternoon. My name is David. I use he, him pronouns, and today I am running a game of Bite Marks. Bite Marks is a powered by the apocalypse game of werewolf pack dynamics. So that's sort of the high level view of it. It's a game wherein all of our players will be members of this of a werewolf pack. The game's by Becky Anderson of Black Armada Games. It's well worth checking out. There's a link to where you can find out more about that down below. This is the second session of actual play of this game. So this obviously will be picking up from last time. This game is being run as part of the Gauntlet, which is an online role-playing group. We sort of meet together. We have a calendar of sessions like this one that people can sign up to. You can find out more about what we do and stuff at gauntlet-rpg.com. Again, I will put a link to that in the text down below. There is we also have a number of podcasts as well as a monthly gaming zine that is available to our Patreon members, or back issues are available through Drive-Thru RPG. This in particular for this game, what we've done is we all of us read Wolfsong by T.J. Klune, which is a sort of supernatural romance novel about werewolves, and we're sort of using that as a kind of key point of inspiration for our game. So that's where we are at. So with that said and done, I will quickly I'll quickly go over. Actually, I'll just recap on our safety tools. So as ever, we have our lines and veils, which are in the safety tab on our character keeper. If you just refresh yourselves on those for my players, and those are available there to check up on. If at any point you want to add anything to the lines and veils, or add something in as a line or veil that isn't currently, do feel free to do so. All I ask is if you do so, particularly whilst we're in play, if you can just give me some notifications that I can let people know we've had some changes made. So that's there. We will also be using the X card. We will be using script change. We'll also be playing under the open door policy, which is to say that if at any point you do need to leave the game session, whether that be for a period of time to take a break or to deal with something, or if you just need to leave the session entirely, that is perfectly fine. If you can let me know if and or when you're likely to be back. That is useful just for my purposes of my planning of things. But if not, then that is absolutely fine. If you need to leave, you need to leave, and there's no problem with that. So I think that is all of our safety stuff gone over. As ever, any further questions, that do feel free to ask. I am going to ask my players to introduce themselves. We will go through those. If you can introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about your character and what they got up to last time. Then we'll kick into things. Yes, as I said, we may or may not be getting jammy. I know they said they had internet issues, so we'll make a start regardless. So yeah, I will go through in character keeper order. Stephen, if you'd like to start off.
Hey there, I'm Steven, he, him, and I am playing Cody, he, him, the Cub. Cody, last time we saw Cody, got into a big fight with everyone about whether or not to out the werewolf secret to Paul, because he's the only one that actually cares about Paul, apparently.
Brilliant, thank you very much. And Drew, if you'd like to introduce yourself and tell us a bit about your character.
I am Drew. I use he, him pronouns, and I am playing Jackson, the Fixer werewolf. And when last we saw Jackson, he was dealing with some increased tension with Cody because Cody wants to tell his boyfriend about the werewolf thing.
Brilliant, thank you very much. And yeah, Sabine, if you would like to introduce yourself and tell us a bit about who you'll be playing.
Hi, my name is Sabine. I'm going to play Ivar, who uses he, him pronouns. Ivar is the enforcer of the pack, also the father of Paul, and he cares very much about his son. Thank you very much, Cody. And thus he doesn't want him to be involved in the whole werewolf thingy, because that never ends well, as is the case on see what happened to his wife, which you won't know about because it's a secret, but which he won't tell you, probably. Who knows. Also, we saw him last time following up on a weird scent trail and then run into an Omega werewolf, which is something from the book Wolfsong we are using as inspiration, and which now he was in the middle of fighting when we stopped playing. So we don't know if he's still alive or not.
I like how we gave you this PC NPC PC triangle, David, without you even having to like do anything on their behalf.
Yeah, indeed. It's perfect. So yeah, that's lovely. Thank you all. Sorry, I've just been yeah. So I think from the sounds of it, Jammy is still experiencing issues with their internet. They are going to try and make it in, but they've they said if they can't, then they won't. I think they said they're going to see how it goes. So fingers crossed we might see them in a little bit, but if not, we'll continue anyway. But awesome. Thank you very much, everyone. Where we left it, I think we will pick up straight where we left things off last time, with Ivar confronting this Omega werewolf. So again, as in the books, the Omegas are the sort of are wolves who have essentially lost them, werewolves who have lost themselves to their sort of feral nature after having usually after having their tether broken away from them in a traumatic fashion. Lose themselves in the wars and can't get back, and are generally violent and dangerous. This Omega appears to be no exception to that, while Ivar had been trying to get them to back off and leave the territory, they lunged at Ivar and took a nasty swipe at them. And yes, that is a good question. Actually, we might have a discussion about tethers at some point. I haven't yet decided if I want to try and mechanize it at all, but we can have a little chat about that at some point, I think. But for the moment, Ivar, this strange wolf has, as I said, they're currently in their kind of half shifted form, the big wolf man, long claws, long fangs, that crazed violet glowing eyes of the Omega blazing out of their twisted face. What do you do?
Well, if I wasn't still very, very pissed at Cody, I would maybe try to do something sensible and try to dominate them out of our territory or something. But I'm still pissed, and also I'm pretty big right now and have a thick fur and very sharp claws and teeth, so I will try to maul them.
Absolutely.
That is probably not.
Yeah, certainly. So mauling is when you use physical violence in a situation, including attacking, defending, causing damage or injury, temporary or permanent, killing, knocking opponent unconscious, etc. So it's basically any sort of physical confrontation, regardless of exactly what you're trying to achieve with it. So yeah, if you would like to, how does it look as you attack this wolf?
I mean, we're already entangled, aren't we?
Yeah, because that's right.
He attacked me, and I'll just return the favor, I guess. I'll try to get at his throat.
Cool.
And
So yeah, this is a roll with teeth.
teeth. Okay, I'm rolling 2d. Yeah, I should put in 2d6s. Wow, I've rolled a 10.
10, perfect. So on a 10 plus, you choose 2 from the list, which I'll just, for this first time, I'll quickly read through those, which is you take -1 harm in the confrontation, you deal +1 harm, you discern your opponent's next move, you knock someone out, you impress or intimidate someone, or you do not take -1 forward on your next give in to the wolf move. So obviously, the extension to that is if you do basically if you don't take the last one, then the next time you roll give in to the wolf, you will be rolling with -1 forward.
That's
as
fair.
you kind of but yeah. So what do you pick from that list?
I think I want to deal +1 harm. So I'll deal +2 harm because one of my playbook moves gives me +1 harm already.
Perfect. Yep.
And I think, what does it mean I knock someone out?
Yeah, that basically you kind of that you incapacitate them in some way, whether that be literally knocking them unconscious or sort of
I think that might be the best. Or intimidate. Do I want to intimidate them or knock them out? I think I want to intimidate them. This guy needs to leave, or if he can, if he or she it was a he, right?
Yes, yeah. You believe so.
Yeah. Okay. So I will. I will do +1 harm, and I will intimidate them to leave us all the fuck alone.
Yeah, sure thing. So you will
but I will take harm myself, right?
Yep, that is correct. So you will tear into them. Your teeth sink into their neck. It doesn't quite we're not talking quite tearing it out, but definitely it's a vicious blow to them. They let out a howl of pain, and a sort of yelping sound. They drop back from you. Their ears go flat, and they actually shrink down from their big half shift into their wolf form, more out of instinct, you think, than anything else. And they go bounding off into the distance, away from the pack territory. They're clearly they're bleeding a lot. They're hurt. They're not going fast, but they are kind of scampering away to try and put some distance between you.
I'll follow them a little ways and snarling at them and snapping, but not really attacking again. How much damage do I take?
Yeah, sure thing. I'm actually just quickly checking up on the. There is a damage thing here. I wanted to double check, so I'm getting my rough damage types dialed in right.
Fair enough.
Sorry about that. I've just here we go.
Sorry.
That's okay. So I've just getting my.
It was 4. The last time it was 4.
Yeah, I think this time it will just be 3 because they don't have quite the element of surprise they had on you before.
Okay.
But and obviously you will get to take your armor off of that.
Yep.
So that's right. So normally wolf. Yeah, about 2 harm is normally what you would expect for an average wolf. Obviously, more when you are boosted up, and he's obviously, with the strength of the feral nature running through, he's hitting quite hard as well. But yeah, the blow that you dealt to him definitely seems to be severe, and they are reacting appropriately. They show absolutely no sign of coming back to confront you. They are in a very they're in a lot of pain and will be going off somewhere to recover. Yeah.
Now that I get back to our house, I won't change back yet.
Cool.
Oh wait, XP. Or did we lump this in this with the scene from last?
Yeah. I think probably I think we did do some XP on this scene last time.
Yeah, okay.
So we'll probably just
okay. That's fair.
No worries. So yeah, awesome. We will. Back back at the house. What are things looking like back there, or are just before sort of Ivar comes back? Drew, Cody, are you still both around, or I'm just trying to remember back to the last where we left things last time, or if you just left, or if you were still hanging about.
I think Jackson was still in the house. Was Cody running outside?
I was going to leave, but then I was leaving, but then Ivar told Dominique me to go back inside, so I think I'm inside for the moment.
Cool. No worries.
I think I am still in wolfed out though.
Yep, sure thing. That's cool. So yeah, I think Abigail had left the lawkeeper after the meal had finished. Camille was with the twins, sort of putting them to bed. I think Marcus is I think is going to actually come over to Jackson and just take a seat next to you. He does that thing. He doesn't make any sort of big he doesn't put an arm around you or do anything like that thing, but he does you can feel him kind of lean his weight on you a little bit as he sits down next to you, Jackson, and he says, look, Jackson, I know things aren't great with he waves a hand, everything still, but I just wanted to say thanks for helping out with the kids.
They look just like her. It's nice and also kind of cruel.
Yeah, you're telling me it's weird. I mean, it's good, but yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of kids, Cody, He's pushing boundaries.
Yeah, I mean, he's. I guess it's kind of normal for when you're still trying to figure out this whole pack thing, but well, you know how it is. I'm the alpha. I've got to lay down the law.
Yeah, you do. And I think Jackson would kind of just, if you don't need me for anything more, I think I'll head out.
Yeah, sure thing. If I'll give you a call if I need anything.
Do you want me to look into if any new people have shown up in town?
Yeah, sure thing. You do that. See what you can find.
I'll get on it. And yeah, just you don't need to go easy on him. I know you and Cody have history, but this could be trouble.
Yeah, you're probably right.
And I think Jackson would depart.
Cool.
I do want to bring up, do you think any of that was what you're angry about or what you were afraid of?
Ooh.
Because you do, if you do say that that's a thing, it is spill.
Yeah, I think it is both anger and fear.
Yeah, sure thing. Yeah, no, that is cool. So yeah, I'm just going to remind myself how this works.
You add, for an NPC, you add a pack to the pool, but no tie.
Yeah, that's it. Yep, cool.
Thank you. Did you do that, David, or should I?
Oh, yeah, you can do that if you'd like. Yeah, so I haven't done it anyway, put it that way. Awesome.
And would I be able to do a sniff it out? He's kind of walking, maybe making some phone calls.
Yeah, absolutely. We've not seen that yet. So yeah, no, that's cool. So with I'm looking at the wrong character. Yeah. So yeah, so for sniff it out, heart, when you want to work your contacts for information, roll with heart. So yeah, if you'd like to make that, or yeah, I mean, so who do you think you're kind of getting in touch with? Is this just kind of friends in town, that sort of thing, or?
That's what I was thinking. Maybe some local business owners he's had ties with.
Cool. Yeah, awesome. So yeah, if you'd like to roll with heart, and we'll see how this goes.
That is 6 + 2, so 8.
8. Cool. So you get to ask one question from that list.
Would I be able to use what is really behind this on the scent that Ivar picked up, or was that the?
Yeah, no, I think that is probably fair. So it will probably be a slightly, not necessarily a direct answer to that question, but you will definitely get that people in town in general have been reporting. There's been a lot of like wild animal sightings, and something has been attacking livestock at a couple of farms outside of town, and there's that general something. The people in town definitely are reporting that there does seem to be a beast stalking the woods or similar. From the sounds of it, there's some reports of howling as well, and all that sort of stuff, and from what they're saying, it definitely sounds like there is probably maybe a little bit out of town itself, but there is definitely an increased in an unusual amount of what definitely to your minds, and with what about the scent, sounds like werewolf activity. It's also like there's you're not in a situation, we will definitely kind of probably detail a little bit more about who else is out there, but it's not like there's kind of another wolf pack another town over or anything. It's like there's obviously there's your actual territory, the bounds of which you protect, but even beyond that, there's more it sounds like there's more activity out there than you would expect. And definitely it could be one singular omega causing a lot of trouble, but it seems odd if that's what it is, but it seems to have been a sustained thing that's been happening for probably a week or a couple of weeks now, which is unusual. That either speaks to, again, could be one omega just really spiraling, but it sounds more like an incursion by a group of werewolves, or someone actually settling nearby.
All right.
Awesome. So Ivar, how does it look when you come back to the pack house? Oh, I should also say, when you come back out of your wolf form, you will heal 2 points of harm. I think it's actually, no, it might be 3.
I think it's 3.
Yeah, I think you're right.
But regardless of the result, when you return from wolf form, it's usually heal 3 harm.
Cool. Yeah,
cool. But I don't yet right now. I just
fair.
Yep. When you come in, Cody gets springs up, tail wagging, and is kind of sniffing at and kind of looking at your wounds.
Oh, that's so neat. Yeah, I wanted to go over and just kind of, I don't know,
and kind of cocks his head quizzically.
Say hi to Cody. Yeah, basically, that's fine. I'm not changing. I mean, you can see probably the blood around or smell the blood around the muscle, and it's not mine. There is some of mine on that thick fur. I might have shrunk down to normal wolf by now, and not werewolf, I guess. So I'm not that big anymore. But I think I'll not only let you but encourage that, and kind of.
Oh yeah, in that case, I think I actually have here scrapping when I express my emotions physically.
Oh, nice. Yeah. What happens when you do that?
It's basically a kind of improved version of the provoke spill move.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So let's see here. Let me go to the die roller.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, that's an 11. The pack automatically makes a spill move, but I get to pick which of the 4 options they spill about.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But you also get to automatically provoke spill on me so you also get spill from me.
Okay, cool. So yeah, okay. So what option do you want to choose?
Um. Oh. Yeah. Oh, I mean, I'm kind of torn between what is sensible and what Cody wants to know. Yeah. Who in the pack do you like? Your desire for a pack mate.
I like you, actually. Actually, I kind of like you, and I kind of like Jackson, who's in there. So, and I like Ghost, who's in there. What we will notice is that I like you. I don't go to Marcus. Is that okay? Is that enough?
Okay. Yeah. So add +1
And
pack.
I like you not in a, oh, I want to fuck this little
Okay.
Wolfie. It's more like oh wow, this I like this kid because yeah, not just protecting, but almost like yeah, it's and I feel a bit like not ashamed, but I mean, I was not very nice to you, and I want to make that up because I actually want you and me to have a good relationship. And I could never say that as a human, but as a wolf, it's easier to express that.
Oh yeah, and I'm definitely so we also add 1 pack to the pool.
Yeah, nice. So much pack in our pool. So much pool in our what? English is weird.
So I'm gonna pick the I
I've
can
clicked
opt.
that. Sorry. Yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead.
I'm picking the I can opt to admit an aspect of the truth.
Mhm.
And I'm still angry about what about everyone's relationship with Paul, because I definitely think that you're all kind of being dicks to him. But you know, I'm totally cool with waiting it out and respecting your decision on that. Totally.
Okay. Totally. Yeah, sure. So what I get from you is you're still a bit angry, but not like oh, I need to take immediate action angry.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Cool. But it's more like you're angry, but not like you now hate me. That's what I mean.
Yeah. You do get +1 ties on me though.
Oh, nice. Whatever I can use them for. I'm taking them. So who are you? You're Cody.
And I think that's also the point when Marcus walks over to the pair of you, and you know you can see kind of his nostrils flare as he is obviously sort of scenting the blood on you, and he says thanks, Ivar. I know I can always depend on you, and he'll kind of you know. In that sort of way that's like kind of both, you know, respectfully, but also sort of with some affection. He will kind of pat you between the ears.
Yeah, I mean he's my alpha, so I'll not do anything. I mean, it's kind of like okay, yeah, fine, go ahead.
Cool.
I'm still not changing back though.
Sure thing.
I mean, I will eventually because I need to go home and have a. Oh, no, we don't. Yeah, probably have go home and then have breakfast with Paul.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, and I think unless there is anything else people wanted to do, I think that's probably where we'll leave that evening's gathering. And we'll roll around to
then is that a new scene?
Yeah, that's right. So we can check in on XP.
Because I think we hit on pack culture of physical closeness.
Yep, that is correct, I would say as well. I think I think we can definitely go for that. Do you
I mean, I lied to. I mean, I admitted the fact that I definitely am planning on outing everything to Paul, to Ivar, because he said no.
You were being playful with the whole scrapping thing, weren't you?
Well, I was more being concerned in that. I don't know if I was being
Okay.
playful.
Okay.
Like I was doing the kind of wolf thing where they look at each other's wounds.
Yeah. I feel that I was being loyal because, I mean, yeah, basically.
I think that sounds fair.
And also, this wouldn't have gone exactly through, but I also am feeling guilty because Ivar totally feels that Cody's on the same path, and he really wants to keep him from, as he was when he was younger, and he wants to keep him from making the same mistakes. So
cool. I like that. Awesome. So yeah, I think so. Jackson. Oh, I was going to say, yeah, Jackson. I think probably we did hit some there, but we currently you're maxed on your human path, so we'll probably we'll leave that one for the moment. But yeah, so
Some wolfy time in.
Yeah, indeed. I think we'll roll around. So we, next day or the next day or two, depending on exactly what people want to do. I am definitely interested in seeing a scene between Ivar and Paul, as we haven't yet. But I just wanted to check in first with Jackson. Is there anything you want to do, or any scene you would like to see?
I think Jackson would have called Marcus back that evening after he'd done his little investigation and report what he found. I don't know if there's a full scene there, but
yeah. So I think Marcus will say, that's worrying. Do you think you can try and dig up a bit more on this, look into it? I can send Ivar out as well at some point, but if you can start having a look into it, see if there's anything more to be found out, that would be good. I don't want to be surprised by any more Omegas or whoever the hell else is out there.
Yeah, I'll do what I can. People aren't going to be too sure what's going on, though, beyond things eating their livestock.
Yeah. I mean, let's hope they don't find anything else more out, right?
For sure. Yeah.
Cool. But yeah, so if there is any other scenes you want to sort of do like looking into that or anything else, then feel free to shout out. or are you?
I think I'm looking forward to seeing Paul and Ivar.
Yeah, sure.
And then maybe after that.
Yeah, cool. Awesome. So yeah, Ivar. When we see you, so obviously Paul still lives with you. We had established that. Is this like sort of sat around the kitchen table at breakfast, or?
Yeah, probably. I think we're both having breakfast together. Usually, if nothing else has come up, I imagine that he has gone to college at some point, maybe has returned now. So we're taking that up again.
Cool. And does he work with you, or does he work? Does he have another job in town, or does he even like kind of commute into the nearest big town to work there?
I imagine that he does help me with the shop, mainly with the business end of things, because that was something that Enid did and I'm not very good at all. And he does the website and stuff like that. But he has another job, I imagine. Maybe he has a job in the city that he really likes. What kind of job I want to put this to the group? Maybe. What do you think? What could be his job? Jackson, you might have an idea because you're playing his boyfriend.
I think it should be something creative. So maybe he's like a copywriter or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, maybe works for yeah, like a PR company or something in nearby big city, or well, probably nearby moderately sized city because you're in Maine, but it's
there's no really big cities, but there is a city. Let's just say this is a city, because what we have here is maybe a town, or not a village as such a medieval feel, but town seems appropriate.
Yeah. Cool. So yeah, he's kind of he's sort of making coffee. He's poured both of you a mug, and then he's sort of pouring the rest into like a travel cup for the road. And he says, "Hey, Dad, how are you? You sounded like you got back in quite late last night."
Yeah, had a dinner at the big house. Got a bit late.
Yeah, cool.
Did I miss anything?
No. I got an early night last night. It's been hectic last few days, so it's nice to just get a bit of rest. He kind of grins and sips his coffee.
Yeah, I'm looking at him and I'm saying, Paul, I've kept the stuff that we do at the house from you, and you know why, right? You know that. That's not that I don't love you. It's because I love you. Because it's a lot.
I mean, I can't pretend to understand what's what you're doing there, but hey, if you don't think you can tell me about it, it's whatever.
Oh. I would draw you in, and then you couldn't go to the city and your job and your friends and your life, right? And I want to have you to have that.
Yeah, I understand. I just, well, I mean, I don't, obviously, but if that's what you think, it's I worry that, I mean, is what you get up to that really so what dangerous, weird, secret, whatever that you can't tell me?
Weird is probably the right word. You'd just be bored out of your mind. I sometimes am.
I don't know whether I don't know whether it's a like Mason thing or a sex thing or something, but maybe it's best
It's
I
not. It's Ivar is kind of flustered, like it's not a sex thing. It's not. It's not. Come on, you'll be late for work, and I don't. And you know how the white people in the city get if you're late for work.
Yeah, sure thing, Dad. Well, yeah, I better get going, but I'll catch you later.
Yeah, see you.
Yeah, and he'll sort of head out to his car and sort of drive off.
Sometimes I wish he would meet a nice girl, nice boy in the city, and then just not come back. And well, no, not really, but a little. Oh, and I was human and I was feeling guilty. Just
yes,
saying.
yeah,
As
absolutely.
I said in chat, telling the guy whose best friend and boyfriend are both werewolves. Oh, I don't want you to become too involved.
Yeah, that's why I wish he would find a nice. I mean, I like Jackson, I do, but so complicated.
Awesome. Cool.
Do we want to call the break a little bit early here to see if Jamie can
Yeah,
jump in?
that sounds good. Yeah, that sounds good. I think that seems, because I was going to say we're just coming up to 5-2 now, so we'll give it. Let's say we'll call it we'll take a 10-minute break. I will just let Jamie know in case they try to log in while we're not here. I suspect, because I think they said they were going to give it about an hour to see if they could get in, but so I'm kind of suspecting this probably won't. But yeah, we'll take a quick break now. See you back in about 10 minutes, and we'll pick up from there.
Okay, see you.
Awesome. So Cody, I think I'll check in with you. What do you think Cody's up to? Is there any scene that you would like to set up?
I mean, I do kind of want to hold off on a little bit on the werewolf thing to Paul, just to give Jackson a chance to also have an actual scene with him.
Yep, sure. Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, I think that kind of reminding myself here of the stuff on my character sheet. Yeah, I guess No, yeah, you know what? I guess Cody's gonna go to the librarian, because is it the librarian? Because we haven't seen them just yet.
Yeah, sure thing. Yeah, that sounds
Sure.
good. Yeah, so Abigail Carver, the lawkeeper, she lives well, still in pack territory. Her house is a little bit set into is a little bit outside of the main drag of town. It's got like a little cottage at the edge of the woods. As it probably used to be a small farm, but not anymore, sort of thing. And yeah, it's like I said, set out into the woods a little bit. But yeah, you can make your way there. I think as you arrive, you see Abigail, and yeah, she's as I said, she's in her 80s now. She's not tall. She's kind of quite relatively short. Back in her day, she was probably quite like well built. Though she's kind of her supernatural nature has kept her fairly well preserved for her age. But she is sort of not as strong as she once was. She has like she's a as an older white woman. She has like very short cut grey hair, sort of crew cut pretty much. When you arrive, she is she's got kind of a big pan of jam bubbling away on the stove. And she does that sort of thing of she doesn't look up from what she's doing and says, Cody, do come in. How are you?
Oh, I mean, you know me, I'm doing okay. It's just that things are tense right now, I guess.
Yes, it is. She kind of like stares the jam. It's things have not been easy in the pack these last couple of years.
I mean, yeah. What did Ivar have to practice that broody stare, or was he just sort of born with it?
It took quite a lot of practice, if I remember. It used to look much more like a sort of squint.
It's just, I don't know. Everybody is apparently so obsessed with this rule about not telling Paul everything, and I feel like they're leaving me out on something important that there's a reason for all this.
There are certainly good reasons why we aren't as free with that sort of information for those outside of our pack. Back before your time, we had we lost a lot of pack back then to hunters, and that distrust of humans has never entirely left some of the older members, and it is definitely a lesson that Marcus learnt from his father. There, and she kind of turns sort of the heat out from underneath the jam, and goes over and sits in a chair at the kitchen table. There's already sort of a pot of tea on there, and she'll pour you a cup as well. It's tricky when it comes to bitten wolves like yourself, like Ivar, and family. It's within, she sort of gestures around, within the community as a whole. The family is very important, especially for born wolves. But those ties aren't the same for those who aren't wolves. It's never the same, and there's never that sense of trust there. And she'll sort of sip her tea. I think as well that Marcus is concerned about bringing in new blood. He did you, of course, but would he have offered you the bite if it weren't a question of life or death? I don't think so. And if Paul is told about who we are, what we are, will he be content to remain as he is? Or will he want to join the pack as well?
I mean, would that be so bad though if he did?
I do not know. Perhaps not. Perhaps, but it's not my decision to make. It's not a decision that ultimately is likely to impact on me for very much longer, if we are brutally honest. And she'll kind of give a sort of wry smile.
I mean, nonsense. What are you, like, only, and this is just from the Cody perspective, what are you, 80, 90? I'm sure you've got another good 10 years in you. And I imagine she's just like 70 or 60.
No, she is. She'll say yes.
Okay.
She is. Yes, I'm
Okay.
85. Boy, not a bad guess, but yes, we'll see. I certainly feel in good health still. I'm not planning to kick off anytime soon, but this she'll kind of her eyes will kind of just very briefly flash orange. She'll say, "This doesn't grant immortality. Health, strength, certainly, but not immortality."
Oh, well, and if you need anything, Abigail, I'm here for you, right? And while I'm saying that, I try to swipe some of the jam from the tray, and then I wipe my hand back and says, "Oh, ow, careful, that's hot."
Very hot, child, but perhaps you can help me get that in some jars. And she'll kind of step up, and again, she moves with still definitely with purpose and stability and strength, but you can hear her kind of joints popping a bit as she gets up from the chair. She will put you to work helping to fill up some jars with the jam.
Sure. I think that's a good point to end it.
Cool. So yeah, I'll just quickly check in. Do you feel like you hit any of your heartbeats there?
Frustrated.
Yeah, that sounds fair.
Cool. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. So I'm wondering if maybe we could get a scene with Jackson and Ivar, perhaps investigating these disturbances, if that sounds interesting to the two of you, or if there's anything else you want to do, that's also cool.
I'm game for the investigation.
Yeah, let's go investigate. I have no idea how to investigate things if I'm not a wolf, but sure. I can.
Would they be wolf, or would they be wolves, or is this a in-person werewolf Veronica Mars expedition?
I think it was about the things you found out, and that we would need to go and investigate. So.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you obviously, you definitely could. You could either just like do this in human form or in wolf form. I think either, depending on how you approach it, either works, or potentially both, depending on what you get up to. Yeah.
So.
Start human.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I can stare at people.
So I think there was like a particular farm or areas or group of farms that were being affected. Maybe that's a good place.
That's right. Yeah, there's definitely there's definitely a like a cluster of farms, like I said, are kind of outside of your territory proper, but are still kind of close enough in that are still part of the town, and are still kind of part of your nominal territory, if not your exact boundaries. It's McCreary's farm.
Should we maybe talk to the vet? Because if there's dead animals, maybe someone calls in the vet or the wildlife person, whatever they're called, ranger or something. What are people called that take care of the preservation of forests and the animals there in the US? Stephen, I think you're the one who's local to the US, so you're muted.
Oh, sorry. What was the question? I missed it.
Yeah, there are probably people who take care of the forest and wildlife they're in, right? And what are
Oh,
they
yeah,
called?
Rangers.
Rangers. Okay, then we might go and talk to a ranger or something, because if something if a normal, let's say a natural wolf pack would attack animals, that's probably who you would call, right? I mean, Ivor would know this, who you would call.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's there's some sort of rangers or animal control, whatever. But yeah, I think that sounds good. Yeah, there's that that they would probably have been at least informed of this if it were thought that there were like wolves on the loose.
So talk to them maybe.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, I think that there is there's like a what's the word I'm looking for? There is like a big like park, like a nature preserve type area, not far away from town. So yeah, Maple Valley Nature Reserve, and yeah, there is like a kind of ranger station there that you could definitely check in with them.
I think Jackson would take the lead, all smiles and handshakes.
Sure.
Hey, yeah, and there's a there is a lady sort of probably in her early 40s. She has kind of curly blonde hair, but kept quite short, but those are quite tight, sort of curly around her face. She's in classic ranger outfit. Yeah, got some sensible hiking boots on, and says good afternoon, or good morning, whatever, gentlemen. Maggie Linkletter, nice to meet you. Can I help?
Hey, Maggie. Yeah, actually, we have been hearing some reports about animal attacks and on the farms nearby, and just wanted to know if any of that's kind of come on your radar.
Oh yeah, sure. We've had quite a few reports in. We're not 100% sure what's going off with it. We were wondering, possibly bears, maybe wildcats. But yeah, they've been fairly badly savaged and eaten. So it's sporadic, I guess. But yeah, have you encountered anything yourself that you think might be related to this?
Well, my friend here actually saw what he thinks might have been a big wolf. Kind of take a step back and prompt Ivar, see how much Ivar wants to actually say.
Yeah, I just kind of nod. Might have been a mountain lion or a wolf. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, wolves are certainly possible. There's definitely plenty around up here.
But these animals, were they attacked by a single animal or?
Difficult to say. There's not much in the way of not much we've found in the way of tracks. It's got to be said. I mean, my first thought wouldn't have been wolves. It looks like whatever did this was big. I mean, sure, some wolves can get pretty large, but as I said, bear would be my guess. But possibly wolves, as I say. If several of them took chunks out, they'd have done some pretty serious damage too, I guess.
Jackson would kind of look at Ivar and say, is there any way you could let us know if you find anything? I take a lot of pictures in the forests and want to make sure I'm not putting myself in a dangerous situation.
Of course, I can let you know if we find anything. It's you're probably okay. Usually, wild animals are fairly likely to avoid people as long as you don't blunder into wherever they're at. But obviously, do be careful if you're out there. I'd suggest. I'd certainly suggest carrying a gun with you, even if you don't try and shoot at it. I mean, if it's like a bear, shooting it's probably only going to make it angry, but the noise tends to scare them off, if nothing else.
That is good advice.
Can you give me a pointer to the area where we should not go? Because I usually sometimes take tourists out or find them if they get lost, and I would like to know where I should take extra care.
Sure. And yeah, she'll kind of pull out a big map of the area and say, so yeah, some of the farms out around here, she'll sort of point over to one area. We kind of assume that it's whatever it is in maybe in the woods out this way. So just outside of our territory, outside of the park. We've not, as I say, we've not found much in the way of tracks, that sort of thing. Nothing seems out of the ordinary here, but as I say, could be further up in the forests, up that way.
Right. Well, thank you so much for your time, Maggie. Can I give you my number? You can reach out if anything pops up.
Sure thing. And yeah, she'll take your number. So yeah, well, as I say as well, if you see anything, let me know. As I say, if it is as ever, if it is a wild animal of some sort, we'd always say, call us first. Don't try and do anything yourself. As I say, if you need to take a shot at anything to scare it off, that's understandable, but we wouldn't advise going out and hunting for these things. I know some people are a bit gung-ho about that stuff. It's best not to invite trouble.
Of course, yeah, we will. You'll be the first one we call.
Yeah, absolutely.
Waving her off, or are we going for a bad place?
I think that would be a good idea to just sniff out if it's really a bear. I don't think so. As I said, I saw another guy. I think he wouldn't come back after we had a little fight, but you never know. These things are weird.
This feels bigger than just one Omega.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? I didn't think they would go into packs, though. I mean, they're kind of loose cannons. They're not much in way of packs. But who knows? I was always told that Omegas were loners and couldn't form attachments to other people at all.
I think that's the accepted wisdom, but there's all sorts of exceptions.
Huh. Okay.
Shall we
Oh,
put
yeah,
some
yeah.
fur on and go exploring?
Yeah, let's go, Mooney.
Jackson would very carefully put his belongings in a backpack, folded nicely and safe from any dirt or leaves before shifting.
Nice, nice.
Yeah, I'll just hide my stuff somewhere with leaves because there are, and I'm looking at Jackson like, but I'm not saying anything, like, because if he gets the stuff stolen, then it's a Jackson problem. And Ivar has only a vague idea about how much these cameras cost that Jackson uses.
Yeah, cool. Awesome. Yeah. So as again, I'll just mention if you wish to sorry, if you wish to give in to the wolf when you shift, you may do so, but you're not required to do so. Cool. So yeah, if assuming you're not, then yeah, the both of you will turn into wolves. Yeah. So yeah, Jackson, I don't think we have seen you shift yet. How sort of does this feel for Jackson, and how does he sort of look as he transforms into this wolf?
I think he's, as a born werewolf, he's well practiced at it, and so it's not like beside the usual kind of gross noises and under skin bone shifting. He is pretty easy with his shift, but I think it feels strange for him because he often goes long stretches, sometimes between like full moons without shifting. So it takes a minute for him to settle in and get used to it again.
Awesome. Yeah. So in the where you've sort of got to this sort of area that was pointed out on the map, it is a bit further into the woods. It's up towards, if not mountains, at least like a hillier area of your sort of the local region. And you know, there are all sorts of like caves and such out this way as well. You will immediately sort of, you know, you can smell that sort of wild forest smells, and you can smell sort of animals you know, there's various different types around, stuff that you would expect, you know, squirrels, deer, all that sort of stuff. But yeah, I guess I'm gonna. Who's sort of taking the lead here, do you think?
Well, you're the born wolf, aren't you?
That I am. I think, yeah, he might harness the wolf for wolf senses.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, if you would like to make that. So this is with feral again, just as a reminder, despite what it says in bold, big letters at the top. So yeah, if you'd like to roll with feral and see how this goes.
Nine.
9, awesome. So, actually, I will at this point, and you don't feel that you have to do this, by the way, but just because I know this is sort of one of the we've actually had few occasions to use it so far, but with but if sorry, tripping over my own tongue again. If you wished, Ivar, you could assist with this role.
Yeah, I was just looking it up.
Yep. So you can basically you can spend up to 3 pack pool to add up to 3 to somebody's roll after they've rolled it. There are a couple of caveats on anything that uses the pack pool. There are a few moves here. We'll probably go into those in a bit more detail next time. At the minute, where most of these aren't available to you because you don't have enough. But the pack moves can only be used if there are at least 2 of you working together. Though I believe you have an exception to that rule, and also it has to be either doing something that is in accordance with the sort of direct orders or wishes of the pack alpha, and in line with the pack traditions. So you can't use it for doing stuff that the alpha wouldn't approve of, basically. But the obviously, you know, for what you're doing at the moment, this falls well within what is within the wishes of the alpha, and in fact the direct orders of the alpha.
Yeah. Okay, so I will spend a pack pool point to improve your roll to a 10, Jackson, if that is something you would like.
That sounds great.
Awesome. Yeah. So on a 10 up, you get to ask 3 questions, and they don't all have to be at once as well. If you want to kind of you know, ask one, do a bit more, and then when the situation changes, ask another. That's also cool. You'll also get a +1 forward if you immediately act on the to any rolls when you're immediately acting on the answer to that question. So yeah. What would you what would you like to ask?
I think I'll start with what smells wrong here.
Yeah, sure thing. So this is something that you'll immediately pick up over the more expected sense. You can definitely smell werewolves, several werewolves. You'll pick up at least you'll pick up at least 3 distinct scents that are in the area. None of them are like familiar to you. Well, that's not quite true, actually. What you will recognize the scent of one of them is definitely the wolf that you chased away the other day, Ivar. But
Growl at it.
yeah. But yeah, the other 2 you don't recognize. They don't smell similar to each other. It smells like they don't smell like they're from the same pack necessarily. They just, but you reckon there's at least 3 different individuals here, possibly more if it's just their sense of fade or being subsumed over time. But yeah, you can definitely pick up at least three distinct scents of werewolves in the area.
Right. Follow that up with a "Where is my prey?"
Sure thing. Yeah, the you can smell their scent. Like it's more that you can just smell that their sort of presence generally. They've definitely been back and forth. You can kind of smell like trails where they've been. Again, it doesn't feel like they've necessarily all been together at the same time, but you can definitely smell their a scent trail leading into like I said, an area where there's lots of caves and the like, and yeah, you think both just from the where the scent is leading you, and your knowledge of the area, and of just like how werewolves tend to be, they're probably sheltering in one of the in one of the caves up in this sort of like I said, hillier area of the forest.
Shall we head that way? Follow them?
That's 3 to 2, at least 3. I don't know. I mean, I can take 1 easily, but maybe we should talk to Marcus before we go. Might get a few of the others come with us. I mean, they're not an immediate. They're not in our home, right? So, I mean, we need to watch this and we need to chase them away a bit further, but so far they're only going after domesticated animals. I guess we can err on the side of caution here instead of rushing at them, just the 2 of us.
I think kind of begrudgingly Jackson would like push up against Ivar and kind of bow his head and like, okay, before just keeping his head low in acquiescence to that.
Yeah, I mean, Ivar is probably just standing there growling at those caves, but not moving up. Like hackles are raised, but not like immediate action will follow. Now he's not bounding up, and he's sniffing at these distinct trails, like to show you that there are more than us. They're not immediately here.
Do any of them smell like a bigger threat than others?
Not particularly. The ones what you will definitely get the scent of. You will get that the scent of blood and injury in the air as well. So yeah, the one that well, it may not be the case, but it would certainly make sense if the one that Ivar wounded last night is probably hasn't fully recovered from their wounds, and in fact may not fully recover from their wounds, depending.
Satisfied growl.
I think, though, would it be a disobey for Jackson to go anyway?
He hasn't dominated you yet.
All right.
So
this is more like my opinion on the thing. If you were going, you would follow probably.
Right.
Yeah.
I think...
I was going to say, I think because if Marcus had given you express instructions to go and find out what's going on and report back, then that probably would be a disobey. But yeah, in this situation, unless Ivar does actually dominate you, they're not. You are not acting contrary to any rules. You might be acting contrary to what they want, but not.
In that case, I think intending to keep a distance, he's going to go see what he can see from the caves.
Awesome.
Ivar will follow because 3-1 is really bad odds. 3-2 is not great, but 3-1, no. And he's pack mate, right? He will just give a dissatisfying whine, like, but he'll follow.
Jackson is worried that it will only take one poorly scheduled visit to the farm animals for a person to get hurt.
It's totally fair. I think though if we are doing this, I will give in to the wolf because I need to be bigger for this. If something happens, I
Sure
could
thing.
go wrong. Could go totally wrong, but
you will be rolling this with a -1 penalty from your mauling the night before. But yep,
yes,
that's absolutely cool.
But it's with feral, right? So
yeah.
I'm at my feral is pretty good.
Yeah,
I think.
Cool.
No, it's not. It's just good, not pretty good. So I'm rolling flat. That's fine. It's a 7, so
7. Yeah, that's fine. That's so yeah, on the 7 to 9, I think that just means you just get one choice from the list, not two. There's no downside as such. Just
I know. I think I will just add 2 to the pack pool because we're both of us here, and that seems the most useful. So I will get a bit bigger. You will see that, but I won't have this thick fur that I usually get when I get into battle. You've seen that probably before.
Awesome. Yeah, Jackson, I think as you start to get closer, I think actually I'm going to assuming that you want to kind of my read on what you're doing here is you're kind of trying to like sneak up on the caves, right? So I think I'm going to ask you to make an act on instinct roll to try and get there without being detected on your approach. This is where act on instinct is when you use your superhuman abilities or act under a threat, and it's a roll with feral.
Right. Another 7.
Cool. So on the 7 to 9, you do it, but I describe how the situation is not under your control. So yeah, I think you are able to pad closer to the caves. And you can smell the walls. And actually, as you get closer to these caves, that scent of blood is a lot more apparent. You will you'll get closer to the cave and you will see, and you'll sort of smell them first, obviously, but you'll see there are in fact two they're wolves at the moment, and they're kind of they are sat down and they're kind of they look alert, but also just slightly that you can see the purple eyes. They're clearly a bit. They're clearly omegas. They're clearly also somewhat. They're sort of alert, but also kind of that they've got that kind of jittery look to them. There is a third also in wolf form, but their fur is matted with blood. They seem to be breathing quite in quite a laboured fashion. They also they seem they're clearly sort of all in each other's presence and existing peacefully, but there's not the sense of like relaxation that you would expect from sort of pack mates. They're still a bit on edge around each other, as much as anything else you think. And the you said you're able to get a bit closer to them, but then you will one of them will, its ears will go up. It's clearly scenting the air. And you realize that, I think there's just been that moment where it's just like the direction of the wind has just shifted a little, and they are now both clearly aware that that other wolves are nearby. You see them both kind of prick up their ears and start looking around.
I remember that we could do this, so I will send to you the image, the mental impression of the question fight.
With a small wine, it'll be a clear negatory.
Good.
So shall we courageously flee?
We're not fleeing, surely.
Just moving in the other direction.
Yeah, I feel that they should know that they've been made, right? Like I'm stepping a little closer, getting a little bigger, and then I'm just growling in their direction. Just a low but very loud growl. Just so they know they've been seen and that we don't like them. And the guy who is the wounded wolf will probably know my scent anyway.
Yep.
And then we can go. We're not fighting.
Awesome. No, that's cool. Then if the two uninjured ones probably have at this point sort of got up. They're both obviously like pointing in your direction, but I think they kind of again, they might let out some kind of soft barks and yips, but they also don't. They're not going to come for you at this point either. There does seem this moment of standoff. With that, the two of you can exit the situation without any problem. Awesome. So just looking at time, I think we'll take another quick break. If we come back about 5 minutes time, just after the hour, and then we'll pick things up from there.
Can we just do the heartbeat thing?
Heartbeats, yes. XP. Sorry. As I said, I'm really bad at remembering that. So no, not a problem. That is cool. So Ivar, do you feel like you hit any of your heartbeats in that scene?
I think in the human one, I hit guilty because of this questioning about how are Omegas really? Are they all totally antisocial and have to be killed immediately? Or is there a way like, oh my God, if that was the case, that would to be, bad. So I think I hit guilty there.
Yeah, you also, sure. I don't know if you have any marks left in your human track, but you also hit to not pick a fight with them. Again, don't pick a fight with other predators, respect their territory. You kind of invoke that, even though Jackson ran off and...
No, that's other predator. I think that refers to other natural predators, not omega wolves. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, okay. We treated it as you got an XP for it last time. You gave.
Oh yeah, right. Okay. So, I don't know. What do you think, David?
I think that certainly could count. I was going to say, I think also I think you definitely exhibited also just some like of the general physicality and stuff of the thing as well. So I think that's
okay.
either of those
Okay.
ties that up, I think.
Okay, cool.
Cool. So and Jackson, how about you? Do you think you hit any of your heartbeats in that scene?
I think torn for worrying more about the people.
Yeah, I think so. And also I think even just in the act of your transformation, when we've sort of learned that you kind of avoid the wolf transforming into a wolf too often, I think that felt like torn to me as well, between those two natures. And yeah, I think we also definitely saw, again, you exhibiting some of those that pack culture of like physical closeness and the like in your interaction with Ivar there as well. If you'd like to mark one for that too.
Great.
Perfect. But yeah, so sorry about that. So yes, we'll we'll take a quick break there. So yeah, come back at, we'll call it 5 past, and I'll see you all then. Perfect. So yeah, I think so in terms of what I would like to see, as we're getting into our last hour now, or say less than, I definitely want to get a scene with Paul and Ivar in, but I would like to check in first with Cody. Is there anything you would like to do or to see, or Paul, sorry, yes, Paul and Jackson. Sorry, that was my continuing issues with names.
Yeah, I think that I was kind of thinking of this, if this feels right, or if I'm just following like drama without necessarily thinking through the characters. I mean, do people have any thoughts on what they'd like to find out about Cody as well?
I'd like to see you with Marcus, just Marcus, not the whole pack.
Yeah, I was going to throw that out. That I do think that I do think I'm going to call. I do think Cody goes to Marcus at some point.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, and I think you get to the the pack house. And actually, I think I'm going to say, just for purposes of framing it, I think that Marcus is like outside, and oh yeah, no, go on. We'll go for a classic. I think he's out there. He's cutting wood for the fire. He's got the axe and splitting logs on the big stump. Go. He can be. He'll be shirtless. Why not?
I know. That's already. Cody was rolling his eyes.
But yeah, he'll kind of look up as Cody approaches, and he'll sort of split the sort of the log that he finished cutting the log that he's on, toss the pieces into the pile, and he'll just sling the axe over his shoulder and say, hey Cody.
Hey, so we have these things called shirts, right? They take like 2 seconds to put on. Like I managed to put them on, and sometimes I forget to put on my pants.
They'll just get covered in sawdust. I can just have a
Cody
quick
rolls his
shower.
eyes again. Sure, that's the reason. That's the reason you insist on not wearing shirts. Sure. I don't say that part out loud. That's just Cody's internal monologue.
Yeah. But he'll just say, well, I've never had you complain about the view before.
Ugh, that doesn't mean I don't find you constantly showing off your body annoying. I mean, before you know it, you're going to be snapping selfies of yourself and posting them to everyone like Jackson.
I've got a bit more pride than that. He'll sort of grin and just drop the
Cody,
axe down
just
next
throwing
to the stump.
shade on everyone when they're not around.
And I think he'll sort of drop the axe down, and then he'll sort of take a breath and say, "Look, Cody. Joking aside, I know this is all new to you, and I mean, I still not that it's not that you're not a valuable whatever member of the pack, but I wish I hadn't had to bring you into it like I did, but the way we do things, we have all of these rules and stuff for a reason, and that's why I've got to lay down the law. It's my job. It's what I'm here for.
Just because there are rules, Marcus, doesn't make it right. Everybody here in this pack is lying to Paul, and they all claim to care about him. Whether you know it or not, you're hurting him by doing this. And I think that actually, now that I'm here, I think I'm making a challenge, right? Because, or no, that's just if you seek it consciously or unconsciously. Right, okay.
Yeah, it's I mean, so I think you definitely could.
No, actually, I think because I am
to a
dominating him, because I am trying to dominate him into like giving the okay on telling Paul, I guess.
Yeah.
Because it's whenever you try to dominate an alpha, you instead make a challenge, right?
Yep, sure thing. Sure thing, yeah. So I think yeah, in terms of like, I think we'll kind of escalate it to the point of the challenge, as it were. So I think
okay, no, but you can push it forward still. I didn't know how that worked. That
yeah,
whenever
no, that's fine. Yeah, so I wasn't so yeah, the way it so yeah, obviously you can I'll phrase that through. So yeah, you can we obviously can make a challenge out of it. I think probably fictionally we need to kind of escalate it a little bit further, but okay. That's fine. We can do that. That is perfect.
Right, cool. I wasn't sure because it says when you attempt to dominate the alpha, instead make a challenge. So I wasn't sure if okay.
Yeah, no, that's cool. But yeah, and I think he'll sort of come back and say, look, that's part of who I am and why I do this. Yeah. And he has got that. You can just see the sort of the sight red cast to his eyes at this point as he's putting some of himself into this. I have to make these decisions. Yeah, people are going to get hurt. People are going to get hurt in some way every time I make a decision. And I've made my decision. We can't just go around telling everyone who we want about this. We can't risk. What if he freaks out? What's that going to do to his to Ivar, to Jackson, if he freaks out about everyone he knows being wolves? He runs off, he tells people about it.
Then he'll freak out. He's not their property. He needs to be able to make an informed decision about his life. And if you don't tell him, I will.
You can't. I can't let you do that. You understand, right, Cody? This isn't a game. You don't just get to ignore the rules that we live by, and I can't let you do that, and I won't let you do that. And at this point, he's got that proper like deep growl in his voice, and his eyes have gone properly full on red. And he's, even just in his sort of human form, he just looks a little bit bigger and more impressive, as it were.
Yeah, and I guess Cody's eyes flash as well. I get that he's Ivar's son and Jackson's tether, but we can't just go on using him as if he wasn't a person. We're telling him. And
so if you would like to make that roll, that is a roll with
guts.
Guts, indeed.
And that's an 11.
An 11. So
pack leader Cody.
Yes, you are now the pack leader. Take the alpha skin and discard your previous skin. You keep your original stats and any moves you had, but you get to take one move from the alpha list. I'm just going to read through the things. So if losing alpha is a player, then they can choose return a skin, blah blah blah. That none of that is relevant.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I was just having a quick. Yeah, okay. So I was just checking. I don't think in the moves it specifies any direct outcome that has to happen here. But yeah, what do you think? Obviously, you are going to seize control of the pack from Marcus. At this point, if you want this to escalate to violence and you wish to kill him, that is absolutely fine.
I don't think so. I think that this is kind of more, because we've just been having an argument here. I think this is more like Marcus pulling, like I kind of imagine like Marcus pulling a Marcus and like shutting down emotionally and just like retreating to his room.
Yeah.
Like he always does whenever he loses an argument. I roll.
Yeah, and I think that there is that moment where Marcus just stands there stock still, just stares at you, and he just looks like shaken, and like I said, for a while now he's looked worn down and beaten down, and just he goes completely sort of slack and quiet, and you see the color drain out of his eyes, and he just turns his sort of head down, and he kind of somewhere between the storming and shuffling off, he kind of heads back into the house, and you probably hear a door slamming behind him. But while this happens, you will feel a sense of power coming over you. What does it sort of feel like to Cody as this? It's he realizes that sort of he has taken on the mantle of the alpha of the pack.
I don't know if he entirely realizes that, but I do think that it. I think Cody feels more certain and sure of himself. Like, I feel like a lot of the session so far has been Cody going to people to talk about this problem. I think that he now feels like there's this kind of certainty of the course of action he should take.
Do we feel this change in the pack hierarchy?
Absolutely, absolutely,
Okay.
yeah. So I will check in with the both of you now as well. Well, sorry, I will check in with Ivar, because I think I am also interested in seeing this from Jackson, but I'm also interested in getting that scene with Paul, and I feel like for dramatic reasons this might be going on as that takes place, because that appeals to me. So yeah, Ivar, this is probably a little bit after you've just come back from dealing with dealing with at least finding the Omegas, and you just feel like the pack, that sense of pack that you can kind of always feel at the back of your mind, just it lurches for a moment. It possibly does almost feel like a sudden, like almost like a moment of vertigo. But yeah, what do you think? How do you think Ivar experiences it, and how do they react?
I mean, it feels like his tether is pulled a bit, because he's tethered to the entire pack, right? And now Cody is the heart of the pack, so the tether kind of leans stronger towards Cody, and feels a bit weird. I think he also feels that it's Cody who's now the. So anyway, I mean, I feel that this the whole Wolfsong thing would allow this.
Yeah, no, I'm just imagining Ivar's internal groan at this.
Yes, it's not an internal groan though. It's an external groan as well. And he turned to Jackson, who's maybe still there, and say, "This is exactly the wrong time for an untried alpha."
I think Jackson would agree, but he's clearly distracted. I think he suspects what this will mean if Cody sets the rules, and he'll turn to Ivar and say, "We need to get to Paul."
You get to Paul, I get to Cody, and tell him about the Omegas, because he needs to know now. And he needs to make a decision what to do about them.
Right.
And this will give you time. And Paul's still in the city. He'll come. He probably looks at his watch, probably drive home now. So I'll give you a head start.
So out of character, I just want to call a thing that I was not going to just run off and tell Cody. I was going to order the two of you to come tell Cody with me.
Oh.
But Ivar doesn't know that. So
right.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to reassure folks that I don't.
Yeah, that's not that. It's not me as a player worried. It's more like Ivar as a Paul's father.
No,
worried.
yeah. I just want to
yeah. Thank you, Steve.
Clarify that as a player.
Yeah, no, that's perfect.
Gracious.
Thanks.
Thank you.
But yeah, so I think as you both dash off to see the respective people, I think like I say, I will I would like that to get in a little scene with excuse me, with Paul and Jackson. So yeah, I think I think Jackson, you will be aware that this is probably it's likely that Paul will be getting back home soon from work, so you'll be able to kind of certainly get to him. Do you just like go to the house, or are you going to try and contact him first?
I think he'd be waiting at the house when Jackson pulls up, just kind of pacing in front of the door.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, so I think he gets out of his car and says, "Oh, hey, Jax, how's it going? Are you okay? You look is something wrong?"
Yeah, no, but oh man. Do you want to go away with me?
Like for a drink or something? I'm free now. Let me just put my stuff in.
No, like a trip. Like let's get out of here for a while, maybe.
I mean, I've got work tomorrow. I can't just drop that at without any notice. Maybe next week or something.
You can tell them you're sick. It's a flu. We can play hooky.
Are you sure you're okay, Jax? Because I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a romantic idea, but this is all a bit sudden. Is something wrong?
Yes, but I don't think I can go into much detail.
Okay, look, sure, we can. I can call in sick tomorrow. We can take a. It's Friday anyway. We can take a long weekend if you want to get out of here. But I'm going to need you to tell me what's brought all this on. I'm not spending the weekend ignoring this, right?
Can you just trust me?
I mean,
I know it's a
want
lot.
to. Look, I'll go and pack some things.
I think Jackson will kind of wince at pack. And he'll say, I think I need to go to the house real quick, but I'll come back and just whatever happens, whatever you hear, I love you.
I love you too, Jax, but honestly, I'm really kind of scared at the minute.
I get that. Just hang tight. I'll come back for you.
Sure thing. Yeah, and he'll head into the house. Yeah, and yeah. So Ivar, I guess we'll catch up with you as you reach the pack house.
Wish I was a wolf now. But I think I'll stay human for a moment, because telling someone about a crisis is maybe a little easier if I can use my words. Because I'm so good at that, right? Yeah, I'll go in and go looking for Cody. Imagine that wouldn't be too hard.
Yeah, where do we find Cody?
Oh, Yeah, I guess you find Cody back at the house. Still blowing off a little steam with the argument with Marcus, who still has shut himself up in his room. Because apparently being a stoic badass wolf doesn't apply to losing an argument.
Like, he's a stoic badass wolf. I can say that now. Wait a minute. Yeah. I guess I'm knocking. I usually don't, but I do quite loudly, and then I go in, because what the hell? Just to let everybody know that somebody's coming.
Hey, Ivar, if you're looking for Marcus, he has decided to shut down for the day, I guess.
No, I'm looking for the alpha.
As I said, Marcus is shutting
Marcus
down.
is not the alpha anymore. Can you feel that?
Are you saying? And I kind of point at myself.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Yeah, that was the first thing I thought as well. To be brutally honest, but no, this is not a good time for a new alpha. We have 3 omegas on our borders. We need to decide what to do about them. You need to decide what to do about them.
So what do we know about them right now?
They've been killing farm animals for now. 3 of them. One is pretty badly hurt. That's the one I ran into yesterday. But it's only a matter of time, I guess, before somebody gets hurt. Some of a town gets hurt. Some human person.
All right. And you tried. I know you encountered one last night. Is that what did that to you?
No, yeah, well, that they're gone now. Yeah, that was that.
I don't like it, but I mean, if Marcus isn't going to step up, we're going to need to form up the pack and go after them. Make certain they know that they can't just go around wherever they please.
Fair enough. You want me to round up the pack for you?
Could you?
Sure.
And I think as you're going out, I say, oh, and by the way, Ivar, we're inviting Paul to dinner. You're inviting Paul to dinner, to next dinner. And I'm dominating you to do that.
Okay. Fine.
Actually, no. I'm actually. Can I phrase that a little bit differently?
Yeah.
I know that you do. I know that you care about him, and so do I, and that's why we're doing this. Because I have a new move
Ooh,
that
nice.
lets me. Let's see here. When I ask someone to do something by playing on their emotions,
Mm-hmm. Oh, you
I can
can.
dominate with heart instead of teeth.
Fair enough.
Ah, that's a 7. Good thing I picked that new move.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see what the 7 to 9 says. I will take a tie on you. Okay. Fair enough. I will take that tie on you and I will look at you and I say, at least you didn't make the mistake I make. And then I'm going.
And also, if pack mates who don't attempt to disobey you can fill in the circle on the wolf human track as appropriate.
Oh, cool. I'm not going to try to disobey here. Oh, I'm marked. Sorry, human path, and then I'm marked out and can do another advance. I'll think about that. And I'll, as I said, I just look at you and say, at least you didn't make the same mistake I did, and then I go. And oh no, I'll say something. Then I say, I hope you won't make the same mistake Marcus did. Yeah, I'm being a bit mysterious here.
Yeah. I mean, it's Ivar. I kind of... I think probably the mysteriousness more gets an eye roll from Cody than like an intrigue, because I feel like Ivar does this all the time whenever he's a bit annoyed with someone.
It's true. It's very true. Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, I wonder as well if maybe this is the point that Jackson shows up as well at the house.
Yeah, Jackson will kind of, no knocking. He just shoves the front door open and storms in, and he's looking for anyone to try and understand what's happening.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess this is the point where Cody and Ivar are still both in sort of the living room, dining room of the house. So yeah.
What did you do to Marcus?
I shrug. Want an argument? I guess.
Great. Well, Alpha, I'm leaving.
And why is that?
Paul and I are going away for a bit.
Actually, I just told Ivar that we're inviting him to dinner. And I really want you to be there as well so that you can give him the important news.
That's not how it's going to work.
I think it is. And I am dominating again. This time, though, I think I'm just rolling teeth, so we'll see how it works. Ah, that's a miss. That's a 4.
Yeah. Cool. Sorry, I'm just yeah. So on a miss, yeah, things are sliding further out of your control. If what you sought control over was a packmate, then they describe the consequences and additionally getting a tie on you. So yeah, how does this look, Jackson?
Jackson kind of bares his teeth and just kind of like grinds out the.
Do you want to attack me?
He'll hate you. He'll hate all of us if you do this.
For someone who claims to love him, you seem to hold him in a very low opinion, Jackson. And to be frank, I don't think you deserve him.
You think you do? Is that it?
I don't want him. All I want to do is be there for him.
Yeah, we'll see how that works when he finds out you've been lying to him just like the rest of us.
And actually, I feel like have we both? This is definitely bum bum bum.
Yeah, I feel like that there may have been some mutual spilling.
Yeah,
there.
that's what I was gonna say. I think we both spilled there.
Yeah, I think that sounds fair. So you may add. You may add a total of 2 to the pack pool and each take a turn each other. I think so. If basically at this point you'll have, I think both of you will have. Oh no, sorry, I'm looking at Ivar's there. So right,
No,
yeah,
it's not
that's
Ivar.
no, yeah, sorry. So Jackson, did you if you I can't remember if you had 3 before or not, but if you would have hit 4 ties with them, you go back down to having 1 tie but gain a point of experience.
This is just 3 now.
Cool. Yeah. No. So yeah, that's cool. So yeah, if you would get a 4th tie, then you'll reset to 1 and gain a point of experience. But cool. Awesome. And I think I feel like that is probably the point where we will get our theme tune Sting coming in. As I think that feels like a good moment to leave things hanging on, and we can pick up next time. I think so. I was thinking, do I want to have a follow up with Paul? But I think I'd like to save that for next time. That's where we'll leave things for today. So thank you very much, everyone. That was a nice dramatic end to things, and I think is not where I envisaged seeing things going, but I always enjoy being surprised in games like this. So thank you very much, everyone. I am going to stop our recording now.